Hey, how you doing today? It's really great to see you. We had the most amazing workshop this weekend, did we not? And I got proof here. I got my Marcia and I got my Irene, my design team members. They're back from California. And they promised when they came back that they would do another video. But last year they did the clay videos. This time they're going to do something that they excel at. And that's seed beading. And you will never see Bisou teach you how to do seed beading. Because I do not excel at it, but these ladies do. And they have been using Bisou findings and Bisou little Routen roses that we sell at the site. That's a stone, by the way, a Routen rose. And they are going to couch it down onto a piece of filigree, and it's really not too hard because, have it right in it. I did it yesterday in class. So if I did it, and I'm not a seed beater, you can too. And then after this is done, we're going to have Lucas upload these tutorials to the site because they did a fabulous job. And let's shout out Melissa too. We were going to. Yeah, well, absolutely. Well, yeah, they're going to tell you about how they learn to do. I'm going to let them tell you how they learn to do such a fabulous tutorial. It's going to make you want to come and get it even more. So I'm getting out of here, and I'm going to let the experts take over, and they're going to do a slam bang video for you, and we hope you love it, and you can give them a nice little comment of thanks for their efforts as they work. This is a labor of love, okay? All right, see you later. I'm out of here.
Good morning, ladies. Marcia Tuzolino and myself, Irene Hoffman, are here to show you a tutorial on how to make the Fleur Romantique pendant. It is a beaded pendant made with seed beads and rondelles. And it is couched on the Bisou brass unplated filigree number FIL 01844. First thing I'm going to show you is how to tie the knot onto the filigree. And you're going to take your thread down through the top underneath the first petal that has a little loop at the top. And then you're going to bring it back up to the right side. And then you will take the thread down through the back, up through the back side on the other side and bring it through the top. And what we're going to tie here is a surgeon's knot. And that is basically twisting your thread around twice, and not once like a regular knot, but twice, taking it down to the filigree and tying one more knot in the opposite direction, a single knot. And then, oops, sorry ladies, tie that and cinch it up pretty good because you're going to be running around this filigree with these beads and on the needle. Okay, and now that you've tied that knot, let's just cut that thread, make it a little shorter thread so it's easier for you to work around. And then we place the beading needle, which is a size 12 beading needle, onto our thread and start our first layer. All right. We're going to start with our size 11 seed beads, which is the first layer on this pendant. And you notice that I have these on a beading mat, and this really helps to keep these beads in place in the spot where you have them. So what we're going to do first is pick up 4 size 11 seed beads. Okay, so we have the 4 seed beads here. I'm going to take my needle down through the left hole, the bottom of that second petal to the right. I'm going to bring that needle back up through the other side. I'm going to add on 4 more seed beads and pass it down through the next petal on the left hole. Then we're going to come back up again on the other side, add 4 more seed beads, and we're going to do this step for 8 rounds of 4 seed beads, which totals are 32 seed beads on this first layer. And once you've completed the first layer, we will step up and start our second. Okay, ladies, we're going to start the second layer. Actually, this one's already been started, so on this layer we're going to be using a size 15 seed bead and a rondelle. What we do is we go step by step up, meaning we're going through that first seed bead on the first set of 4. We're going to go through that first seed bead, come through that first seed bead. Okay, we will go through that first seed bead in that set of 4. We will add on 1 size 15 seed, a rondelle, and another size 15. And then we're going to come back down through the 4th seed bead in that one section. 3, 4. I'll pull that through and line that up a little bit. So actually on this round, once you finish these are going to look like they're laying flat, so you're okay. So what we do is continue this all the way around to the end, doing the same thing, going through that first seed bead, adding a size 15, a rondelle, and a size 15, and coming back down through that 4th seed bead of that section. And we'll continue this all the way around to the end of the row. Okay, ladies, you will finish this row and then step up to do the next layer, and Marcia Tuzzolino will instruct you on that part.
Hi everyone, it's Marcia Tuzzolino. I'm going to show you on our pendant how to work on the 3rd layer of beads, and at this point we are actually going to put our focal stone or cabochon, whatever you have chosen to use. In this particular case, this is the pave rhinestone top plastic silver foil, and it is an 18 by 13 size, and the SKU number is STN 01799. At this level, I've already added 2 layers on here. You're going to take your cab, this is the top of our pendant, and we're going to line this up by gently placing it on top of the bottom layer of seed beads that are already on the pendant. And you're going to gently hold it with your opposite thumb. So if you're right-handed, hold it with your left thumb, and of course if you're left-handed, hold it with your right thumb. You can manipulate this. It's probably going to slip a little bit back and forth as I add this layer, but you can manipulate it back to its original position all the way up until we finish the final layer where we're tightening the top layer. So now I'm going to continue on with the third layer. And the third layer, we're going to be going from rondelle to rondelle and adding beads in between there. And what we're going to add in between there is a size 15 and a size 11 seed bead in a different color, a contrasting color in this case, and then another 15. And then we're going to go through this next rondelle right here. Okay, we're going to go through the center of this next rondelle and just pull through. And you want to snug it up. You don't have to pull really tight on your thread, but you want it to be fairly snug because this layer is actually starting to come up over the edge of your focal, and that is what it is going to help hold it in place as we move around. I turn my pendant so that I'm it just is easier for me to do that. You don't have to do it that way. That's just how I feel comfortable doing it. Now, on these focals that are oval, at the very top and the very bottom, between the two rondelles, sometimes you may have to pick up two 15s, one 11, and two 15s to accommodate the roundness of the curve so that you don't have a big gap of thread showing. And that's what I'm going to do in this case. I'm going to pick up two 15s, a size 11, and two 15s. And then I'm going to go through the next rondelle. And I'm going to pull snugly. And here, this is a very good example of what not to do. As you're doing this, you want to make sure that you don't catch your thread on one of the petals and pull tight and move on to the next step, because if you do that, you're going to have to do what we call ribbit, be a frog, rip it back out. And snug up your thread. And then we're going to go back to picking up just one 15, one 11, and one 15. And go through the next rondelle. And you go around the entire focal doing that. You see how I'm snugging that up and how it pulls the rondelle and the seed beads up over the edge of the focal? That's how you want it to look. And then when you get to the very top, you want to also add two 15s, an 11, and two 15s. And now we're ready to start the fourth layer, the final layer that's going to secure your focal. Okay, this is our fourth and final layer, and we're going to step up from the third layer by going through the 15 and the 11 from the previous layer. And this time we're going to be adding beads and connecting the size 11, in this case it's the black one, to the next size 11 as you go around the pendant. So I've already started this fourth layer. Now I'm going to pick up a 15, an 11, and a 15, and I'm going to go through this next 11 over here that I did in layer 3. Pull your thread through, making sure you don't catch it on the petal. And now you want to really start to snug up your thread, because this final layer is coming up over the edge of that pendant, and that is what is going to hold it in place on the filigree so it won't slip out. And then you just continue that, pick up a 15 and 11 and go through the next 11. Until you get back to the very top. I'm going to go ahead and go up to the top and finish this one for you, so I can show you how we finish it on the top. Going back through the 11. Pull it tightly, and if you need to turn your pendant, go ahead and turn it. Make it work for you. One thing I wanted to mention, if you are left-handed, it's okay to be doing this in the opposite direction from the very first layer. You don't have to go to the right, you can actually go to the left. Going through the 11 again right there. Pulling it tight. Making sure it's coming up over the edge. And one more 15. One more 11. One more 15. And this is the last 11 we're going to go through. Pull it tight. Okay. Okay, I'm sorry, I lied. I have to do one more. So one more 15, one more 11, one more 15. Go through this 11 that's kind of down here in the valley. There, I got it. Oops. You have to be careful that your needle doesn't go through beads that are down the row a little ways. Beaders frequently bend the heck out of their needles as they're sewing. If you have a bendy needle, it means you're a good beader. Okay, there we go. Okay, then to finish this off, make sure those beads are up there on top. To finish this off and to secure it, you're going to go through, oh, what did I'm sorry, I have to go through one more here. I worked up these samples about a month ago, so I kind of forgot what I did. So we're going to do one more. Go through the size 11. And then, now we've gone all the way around. Now to secure this, you're going to take your thread and you're going to go through every 15 and every 11 2 more times around the top before you knot your thread. And I'm not going to take the time to do that right here, but I do want to show you how to knot your thread and do what we call tying off after we've finished our piece. And if you can't get your needle through more than one bead, that's fine. Just pull it through one bead at a time. There, I got it through a whole bunch that time. And you just want to continue to kind of pull and tug on your thread so it's nice and secure as you go around. Now, when you get all the way around, the way you want to do what we call, oh, it didn't go through there. No, it's okay. The way you want to tie off, you're actually tying a knot on top of a thread that is in between the beads. So you're going to do what we call a slip knot. Anybody who sews is probably very familiar with slip knots. You go with your needle underneath the thread between two beads, and you pull your thread down until you have a loop that looks like this. Then you take your needle and you put the needle through the loop and you pull it tight, making sure that you get it in between the two beads and that it doesn't catch on one of the beads on either side of where you have put the thread under there. And then just pull it tight. And then you're going to continue on, go through maybe 3 or 4 or 5 more beads following the bead path, and then you're going to do the exact same thing a couple more times as you go around. And after you've tied, I like to tie 3 knots, so after you've tied your 3rd knot, then you can take a thread burner or just a pair of little sewing scissors, and you want to get in there as close as you can. And I'm not actually going to cut this thread because I'm not finished with the pendant, but you want to get in there and just cut it as close to the beads as you can. And after you do that, you will have successfully completed a beautiful pendant for yourself. These are the instructions that will be on the Bisou website. They're going to be loaded onto Irene Hoffman and Marcia Tozzolino's design team pages. We want to give a shout out to Melissa Mock Rodart. She taught us many classes. She writes amazing tutorials with color photos, and she taught us how to do that. So you'll be able to find these on the website at Bisou after we get them sent and loaded up. They were a collaborative effort. It has the materials list and it has a photo for each and every step. So we wish you much success as you make your pendants.